In this awesome video, we're going to talk about the most popular handgun of the 20th century, the 1911, or as some of you may know it, the Colt. Many of you are familiar with this bad boy from popular games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, PUBG, and Mafia. And hey, some of you might have even had the chance to hold it in your hands or even squeeze off a few rounds in real life. But guess what? This pistol had also made its mark in TV shows like in Supernatural. Yeah, that's right. This beast of a gun was blowing demon heads to smithereens in that incredible franchise. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why it was created, its kick-ass features, and why the Colt is considered an immortal classic from the good old USA. Get ready to dive into the wild world of the 1911, where bullets meet badassery, and discover why this gun is the stuff of legends. Let's roll! Back in the Wild West of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, there was a showdown between the Philippines and the USA. And guess what? The USA showed up with their trusty .38 caliber revolver, thinking they were the coolest gunslingers in town. But oh boy, it turned out to be a total dud. It was like bringing a water gun to a cowboy duel. So in 1905, the United States Armament Commission decided to spice things up. They rolled out a brand new fancy schmancy automatic pistol with a magazine that could hold a whopping 7 rounds of .45 caliber bullets. They called it the M1905, and it was a game changer. Fast forward 2 years, and this bad boy went through some serious military trials. Let me tell you, those soldiers were blown away by its sheer power. They were like, we need this bad boy in our arsenal right now. So the decision was made to replace the old clunker with this shiny new toy for the American Army. But wait, the story doesn't end there. The inventor himself, John Browning, wasn't satisfied with just being a one-hit wonder. He teamed up with his trusty sidekick, Fred Moore from Colt, and together they worked their magic. They tweaked, they tinkered, they fine-tuned until finally in 1911 they unveiled their masterpiece. It was a gun so impressive, so extraordinary, that it sparked a nationwide competition in the good old US of A. Everyone wanted a piece of it, the military, the police force, you name it. It was like the Oscars of firearms, with all the big shots vying for the title of the best pistol for military and police use. So picture this, Browning and his genius engineer come strutting in, showcasing the upgraded version of the 1905 pistol. And boy did it rock the military's world. It was like fireworks on the 4th of July, simple, powerful, and dependable. The Colt company couldn't believe their luck when they finally snagged the coveted contract. They christened their creation the M1911 government model because hey, it was the government's ultimate weapon of choice. From that day forward, the M1911 became known as the Colt. No questions asked. But hold on tight, because things were just getting started. When World War I exploded onto the scene in 1914, those Colt pistols started rolling off the production lines like hotcakes. Not only the Springfield factory, but factories all over America, and even some across the pond in jolly old England, were churning out these bad boys. The officers of the Allies couldn't resist the allure of the Colt 1911, and even the Russian army managed to get their hands on a few precious batches. Talk about spreading the firepower. Now, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. In the muddy trenches of the war, the Colt 1911 showed its true colors. Sure, there were some hiccups along the way. Sometimes, just when you need it most, the loaded magazine would decide to take a nosedive out of the pistol. And boy did that mechanism have a love-hate relationship with dirt. But let's be real here folks, every automatic pistol was facing its own set of quirks. The Colt may have had its moments of oops, but its perks far outweighed any shortcomings. It was the undisputed champion on the battlefield, delivering power, accuracy, and a whole lot of awesomeness. With its powerful bullet and stopping power, the Colt 1911 turned enemy limbs into a shooting gallery of horrors. Those poor souls didn't stand a chance, and get this folks, there's a jaw-dropping tale about a badass American soldier named Audie Murphy. Picture this, he's all alone in the Erie woods armed with his trusty Colt 1911, and he takes down not one, not two, but a whopping 6 Germans. Talk about a one-man army, a force to be reckoned with. But the story doesn't end there, my friends. When World War I finally came to a close in 1918, the Colt 1911 didn't retire to the sidelines. Oh no, it continued its reign as the American Army's go-to weapon, serving both at home and abroad. Unfortunately, the police force wasn't quite ready to handle the Colt's heavyweight championship and earth-shaking firepower. It was just too much for them to handle. But don't fret, my trigger-happy comrades. The wizards behind the scenes were hard at work. They were like mad scientists, tweaking and perfecting the Colt's design, determined to banish its wartime weaknesses. They were on a mission to create a weapon so flawless it would make the enemy weep in despair. It was time to unleash the upgraded, supercharged Colt 1911 that would conquer the hearts of soldiers and make other guns cower in shame. So buckle up, folks. The Colt 1911 was about to receive a power-up, ready to blast through any obstacle and leave a trail of awestruck admirers in its wake. This was the dawn of a new era in firearm glory. After World War I, the M1911 pistol became the hottest ticket in town, with countries all around the globe clamoring to get their hands on it. It was like the Beyoncé of firearms, commanding attention and admiration wherever it went. But here's the real kicker: even Tokarev, a Russian extraordinary gunsmith, couldn't resist its allure. It took a long, hard look at Browning's masterpiece and thought, hey, I want a piece of that action. So he borrowed some of Browning's genius ideas, tweaked a few things, and voila! The legendary Tokarev TT pistol was born, with a touch of Browning brilliance running through its veins. Talk about a cross-continental collaboration. Now, fast forward to 1921. The Americans, never content with resting on their laurels, decided to take their beloved M1911 to a whole new level. They rolled up their sleeves, ironed out the kinks that were discovered during the war, and gave it a swanky makeover. Behold, the M1911A1. It was sleeker, cooler, and ready to rock the world of firearms. The American Army was all over it, embracing the upgraded beauty with open arms. And let me tell you, my friends, from 1926 until this very day, that pistol's design has remained untouched. It's like a timeless fashion icon that never goes out of style. The M1911A1 stood the test of time, proving itself to be a true classic that continues to capture the hearts of gun enthusiasts everywhere. Interesting fact: during World War II, the pistol was manufactured in numerous factories, but here's the kicker: even sewing machine companies like Singer were mobilized to contribute to the production effort. They produced only around 500 to 600 pistols, which to this day are considered rare collector's items, highly valued among firearm enthusiasts. They can fetch prices in auctions that are sometimes 30 times higher than the cost of a regular mass-produced model. It's also important to note that prior to the creation of the M1911, Browning designed a series of long-barreled pistols with a short barrel travel. These pistols, such as the M1900, M902, and the previously mentioned M1905, were also manufactured by Colt. The key difference from the M1911 was the locking mechanism. The barrel was secured by two lugs instead of one, and upon unlocking, it dropped without any tilt. However, with all its legendary reputation, the Colt 1911 was never a perfect weapon, and it had received quite a lot of complaints from soldiers who were using it as their daily handgun during World War I and World War II. 1. Recoil. The powerful 45 ACP rounds gave it a kick, making it harder to control during rapid-fire or tricky shooting positions. 2. Weight. It was a hefty sidearm, adding extra weight to already burdened soldiers carrying gear and equipment. When fully loaded, the Colt 1911 weighed a whopping 1.4 kilograms or 3 pounds. 3. Magazine capacity. With just 7 rounds to spare, some soldiers wished for more firepower, especially in intense combat situations. 4. Maintenance. Cleaning and disassembling the Colt 1911 took more time and effort compared to other pistols, which could be a hassle in the field. 5. Ergonomics. Not everyone found it comfortable to handle. Grip size, trigger reach, and overall design didn't suit every soldier's hand size or shooting style. But hey, despite these complaints, the Colt 1911 still packed a punch and earned its place as a legendary firearm of the era. Now, let's compare the Colt in real life and different games. The best way to do this is to look at old games set in World War I and II, as that's when the Colt was at the peak of its popularity. Wherever there were American soldiers, you would find the Colt as it was their trademark. Let's start with the main point. In reality and games alike, the M1911 is not usually portrayed as a primary weapon, but rather as a complement to the other firearms like the Thompson or M1. If we compared its characteristics in games to real life, we can see that in Battlefield 1942 and Vietnam, the Colt has around 8 rounds, even though the original capacity is 7. In terms of combat performance, it doesn't differ much. However, in games, you won't be able to kill an enemy with a headshot using the Colt if they were wearing a helmet. The same story goes for the original firearm. Due to the 45 caliber round's low penetration power caused by its low muzzle velocity, one-shot kills are unlikely. The range of the Colt is also not extensive. In older games where concepts like bullet drop and bullet spread are not present, you can kill enemies at any distance. In reality, the effective range of the Colt is only about 27 meters, while in PUBG it's around 50 meters. But that's not surprising, since 27 meters is too short in the game, and for such distances, it's better to use a shotgun. The Medal of Honor franchise was the first to set the trend of trying to recreate moments that soldiers with a full arsenal of weapons from the 1911 era and others could have experienced. During the same period, the Call of Duty series emerged, and as interest in shooters set in World War II waned, there was a shift towards modern settings, but the M1911 remained. There is absolutely no need to replace it. Most modern pistols are based on similar principles, and as long as there are lightweight designs with higher magazine capacity, the dimensions of the 1911 allow for confident control of the powerful ammunition recoil. The Colt is an excellent weapon for Captain Price from Call of Duty, someone who clearly respects military traditions. It plays a crucial role at the climax of the Modern Warfare storyline, and its reunion with Price becomes a small ritual in Modern Warfare 2. The torch is passed from one generation to another, paying respect to the origins of the series.